Well, this is when we expected the windiest and for many of us the wettest weather. That is pretty much from now as far as the wettest through tomorrow morning about 6 or so, and then the windiest conditions will continue until late in the morning. But this hurricane is not going to drag things on, and that's actually some good news for us. What I mean by that is the Category 2 continues to move to the east-northeast at about 16 miles per hour. If you remember, if you were with us last night, there seemed to be some indications it might take its time making the turn. It was headed northeast, then make a right turn on I-4. No traffic on I-4. It is moving along, and what that means is the quicker it gets offshore, then the quicker we'll begin to see our winds diminish. But between now and the time that it gets offshore, we'll continue with, if anything, the wind gust increasing, especially anybody near the river, out over the coastal areas, and certainly out toward the beaches. So it's a little tougher to see the eye now that it's filling in, but the center of the location, again, moving right along I-4. This is now the eye less than 90 miles away from Cape Canaveral. In fact, I'm going to zoom in closer because I think we have something interesting developing here, almost a secondary circulation developing already. And that's probably because of the warmer waters here and the cooler temperatures over land. And it creates a bit of what we call, well, just sort of a pinch. Imagine these winds coming out of the southeast into the northeast, into that area of high pressure that we have. And so that's why now we've seen winds gusting recently in Daytona as high as 75 miles per hour. So it's not a sustained hurricane yet, but hurricane force gust as near as Daytona. And that's why we're getting gusts to near 60 miles per hour in Palm Coast, and then we'll soon in St. Augustine. And the rest of us, although not as strong, we're going to be part of that kind of pinch that's going on until the overall center does get offshore. But I think by 6 a.m., and that may be conservative, it could be by 5 a.m., it heads offshore. Until then, windier and wetter for most of us. Hopefully, you're just going to hunker down. Hopefully, you can relax and just go to sleep. Now, for those of you that are a little wary about going to sleep because of maybe some trees, remember, this is going to track right along the front. This has been the definer for how the hurricane has gone, and it will continue to move right along the front. We're north of it. We're in between the highs. So what does that mean? That means winds will stay out of the north and northeast. So if your only concern is with maybe a tree coming down, and if it's on the south side of your house, you're fine. If it's on the north and northeast side of your house, if you have loved ones in those bedrooms, I would take them to the other side of the house. By 7:30, it could be this system is offshore, and then conditions will be improving, although I do want to make sure we emphasize right along the beaches, winds are going to stay quite gusty through at least midday tomorrow.